Master Drilling Group is a global leader in the raiseboring and other drilling services for mineral exploration and mining companies.
Yeah, so a raiseboring machine, I don't know, it's one of those things that's got like tracks. It looks like a little Caterpillar truck. And at the front, it's got this big head, which they use. Raiseboring means it can kind of go around. You drill into the ground in order to take samples, or maybe to extend if you're doing substantial rock drilling and blasting. These guys are global leaders in that, not just here in Southern Africa, but across the world.
Do they have a solid moat around their business? Have we already given the market cap? 2 billion rand.
2 billion rand, so a substantial company. Also, the only company that I'm aware of on the stock exchange which has its headquarters in Fochville, which is on the way to Potchefstroom.
The ratio of 8 and currently not paying dividends. So with the elaborate analogy that Paul has put out for us, well, not analogy, the picture that you've drawn, does that mean that this business has a significant moat?
I think it does. They've got specialized technology that does this boring. They're also looking at further applications for it because they want to broaden the scope and broaden the markets that they can address. Also, very interestingly, it's a dollar-based business. It's dollar-based income. So it's actually a rand hedge stock. And as we know, those have been very attractive. I guess they have a South African base, and off that they can export. And we've seen the South African manufacturers getting more competitive as the rand has depreciated. So they do have that competitive advantage as well. So this actually looks quite interesting. I think they've got a good niche. Obviously, they are exposed to the mining sector, and that's something we need to understand. We've seen a lot of the other companies with exposure there being marked down considerably. But if you can understand the exact demand of their product, this may be interesting.
There's the share price graph. Paul, you can talk us through that.
It's only 3 years because that's when they came to the market. It was placed at 7.85 rand. So you can see it's done well. It's currently, I think, at around 13.5. But there's a little wrinkle here I want to point out. The founder of the business, whose name is Dani Pretorius, owns, I think, somewhere in the region of 85% of the shares of the business. And he and some of his associates...
He owns 85% of the business.
Exactly. And he and some of his associates have been buying shares on the market from time to time. So my concern is liquidity is not good. And the founders, who have lots of money, occasionally buy the shares when they perceive it to be too cheap. So I don't know. I mean, as good as the company is, the results have been a bit mixed in a very negative environment for mining companies. So whilst they seem to be a solid operation, I'm not sure this is the kind of investment for everyone.
Given the concerns that Paul's put on the table, could we call it hot or not?
Let's not hot.
I think it's one to watch. I mean, obviously, in different times, they could continue to do well. It's not like the sub-Saharan mining industry is the only thing that's going on in the world. You know, they probably have some of their 145 raise-boring drilling machines busy, rock breaking out in Panama with the new Panama Canal or something.
You sound very enthusiastic about this company. Is this what you actually wanted to do?
Well, these engineering companies are fun, but
you do have an engineering degree.
Yeah, exactly.
I see. Well, you see, your passion is coming through. After we've got going not hot.
Not
You're
hot
going
on
not
that
hot.
one. Interesting, but not hot.